everybody. This is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Scoop News. An interesting article came out, and it's information that's already out there, but I thought I would share it or summarize it basically because it covers some questions that I've been having regarding when will we see some traction on Sarasota Memorial in Venice and Venice Hospital in Venice. The new rebuild. What you see now on the screen is actually a virtual tour that Sarasota Memorial put together. If you go to my website, if you're on YouTube, I'll put on my website a link to the full video that you can watch. And basically, in regards to Sarasota Commission or Sarasota Memorial Hospital, they have to go through the city of Venice for their spring break. Their ground break is sometime in spring of 2019. They plan on getting it started. I think it's going to take a couple years. It's going to take a couple $100 million, something like $200 million to build out. It's going to be just southeast of Pinebrook Road and Laurel Road, over there by where they're, I think, putting a new apartment complex. The sheriff's fleet facilities going there. So that little Pinebrook Laurel Road corridor there is going to start getting very, very busy. I think there's some homes being built there too, or they're trying to. They still got to go through some of the rezoning, and they need an exception to exceed the height limit and other issues there, but they're not facing the challenges that Venice Hospital has to go through with theirs. Basically, there's no planned amendment, there's no road construction that has to be hashed out, and there's really no neighborhoods there that are fighting against this. I think one landowner, and he's fine with it, if memory serves me right. So that's going to be a go in springtime. There's no real issues there. Over at Venice Hospital, we all know, started back, 2 years ago when SMH put out their notice. Venice Hospital said, hey, we got to rebuild because it's going to cost us about $80 million to refurbish this hospital. So we're going to rebuild, and basically with the Venice Hospital on the island, they're going to break it down. It's still going to be there, but at at like 10% of the capacity, 20% of what it is today. So they've been going through the processes, and as we all know, they've been in court battles. That court battle played out. They're both able to play or open up shop and move forward with all the approvals out of the way. But Venice Hospital is having an issue. They got their height amendment approved by the county to the dismay of many of the residents because it's surrounded by all residential neighborhood. It is residential property, and they want to make it commercial. That's the sticking point. And so they have to go and try to do a state amendment for it. They'll probably get that, amending the comp plan. I just don't see why they aren't, knowing how the political, if you want to say, ball gets played around here. But next month they got to go before the county, and right now the fight is widening Venice Avenue from the roundabout to the eastern border of where their property will be. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to add the bike lanes? Who's going to add the median? Who's going to add all that stuff into it? And the hospital is looking for a bigger cut in the deal because they're saying that they're estimating $5.7 million to do the everything that the city or the county is asking of them. They've requested a rebate on their mobility fees, and it represents about between, I don't know, it's something like $2.5 million. I can't remember the specific number, but basically the county's proposed cutting $1.25 million. County commissioners like Dieter are sticking to that. And here's the point, and a lot of people miss this, or they don't miss it and they just don't care, is that Jonathan Lewis, is the county's manager, came in basically at their last meeting and said, look, we've earmarked this money already. We've already foreshadowed that this is going through, and this money is earmarked for River Road. So if you guys shoot it down and we don't get X amount of money, it's less than the $1.25 million, then we got to redo our budget because that's already been planned. So it's all about money. And this deal was going to go through all the time. It'll still go through. And nobody talks about the lawsuit that's out there pending right now with the hospital and the county. So a lot of people are upset right now. Nobody's talking about the roundabout. The Venice Hospital came out and said, look, this roundabout is no good right now. And if we move forward with the amount of traffic we're projecting, it's definitely no good, and it needs to go. But nobody's talking about fixing that. Not one word. And so who's going to do that? And what they're going to do is what they do with everything. These politicians, and for that matter, Jeff Boone's group, the hospital, they're not going to talk about it. They're going to hope that traffic study just stays silent. And then once the deal goes through and they get approvals, they're going to come and say, oh, yeah, what about this roundabout? You guys need to get that fixed. Or they won't even say it. They'll wait for all the traffic congestions and everybody to bitch and complain and put pressure on the politicians. And then who's going to pay for it? Us taxpayers. So it's definitely, I think, something that should be discussed. So I'll put all the county commissioners' emails down there if you guys want to discuss it with them, because this is going through the Venice Hospital. Sarasota's already done, that you see on the video. Venice is going through. And we want to make sure everything's covered if it does go through. Sorry for the folks out there, the residential. I've already talked to several people. The home values have dropped significantly trying to sell their houses, and they're having the hardest time because of this move. So that's it. That's where we stand with both hospitals. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with The Scoop.